you show that both Peter and Pax have, I don't know what the right word is, you talk about the Buddhist principle of that we're all one. And literally, when the animals get together, they can almost share telepathic psychic images from their past with each other. And it
Yeah.
seems like E.T. and Elliot, Peter and Pax are kind of feeling each other's feelings at different times throughout the story.
Yeah.
Do you believe that that's true in life, or is that something that you want to say about the larger world metaphorically within the story? Where does the author fall on that?
So that's interesting that you picked those two things, because those are the only two things that I couldn't run through my Red Fox expert. I have a Red Fox expert who helped me get everything right about the behavior. But those two things, there's no way to prove that there is a telepathy, right? But I'm pretty sure that when two creatures are that in tune with each other when they're together, I don't think that just ends. And I also did learn from my Red Fox expert that foxes are able to understand the communication of not just the crows, as I have in my book, but of all the creatures that live in their environment, all the ones that are communicating. Anyway, I'm not talking, well, maybe I'm talking about crickets. I don't know. He shocked me with that. I said, are you sure I can get away with having them listen to the crows and understand what's going on? He said, oh yeah. In fact, foxes do it with a whole lot of other animals. So the 2 by 2, two but not two. Yeah, I'm pretty sure in my extremely long life, a lot longer than your life, that we are more one than not, and that we are connected in ways that we often don't see or don't want to see. I will tell you that after I wrote Pax, I received a lot of mail, of course. And I can't tell you how many times I received the same story, the same anecdote. People would write and tell me, I had this experience with a fox in the wild. I'm walking along, walking on my path, and I look over and I see a fox. And I didn't think anything of it. And the fox isn't threatening me, isn't threatened by me. It's just kind of like, yeah, we're looking at each other. And then I take off down the path. 5 minutes later, I turn around, there's a fox. He's loping along kind of the same rate. It's the same fox, right? And that would happen continually over their journey. And I myself have had that happen to me. So I know what they're talking about. And that makes me feel pretty sure that, yes, we are more connected than we know. And foxes at least show you that, because they're not afraid of you and because they aren't threatening to you. They just seem often to be kind of hanging with you. There's a brand new book called The Fox and I, about a woman who spent a year having exchanges with the fox every single day. The fox would show up at her house. She started reading a book to it, and the fox would just listen for a while and then go. I'm a strong believer in that, the Buddhist concept of two but not two, that we are all connected. And I actually am pretty fearful right now for the world, because we're going out less. We are more and more isolated. This pandemic hasn't helped, but we're certainly out in nature less than we ever were. And I think we're beginning to feel that we don't belong together, that we aren't connected to all of the creatures that live on this earth do have connections. And we're starting, I think, to at least not be out there as much and be aware of it as much.
Well, hopefully that will be one of many things that will be restored at the moment we get enough folks vaccinated and we really start to turn the corner on this thing. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Don't you feel it? I mean, you must. I just feel like I'm in contact with people, of course, but it's a different way. It's different from being in person. And it just makes you feel isolated. Of course, you know that.
It does. I felt a little bit closer to nature because I've just been taking so many long walks. Because
That's great.
activity you can do without getting 6 feet. closer to anyone.
True, but people are spending more and more time on screens. Nature more and more is becoming a video that you're watching. I don't think people camp as much as they did 50 years ago. I'm not sure of that, but I think it's probably true. There's not out as much. Oh well, but but you can always go out there and find them. It's still open to us.
Well, I think as many years evolution now as people have of being social and being with each other, this is hopefully a blip on an otherwise continued journey toward having no boundaries. I imagine once everything is neurolinked, once Elon Musk gets that technology out and in everybody's brain, we're all going to be sort of a hive mind.
Yeah, and of course we are globalizing. So it, in a way, certainly more than, again, 50 years ago, we are more connected to people in very different walks of life, different places in the world. We are now more one community. That's great, at least about people. So let's hope that we can get back to seeing ourselves as an animal that lives on the earth, also one of many.
There